welcome to our presentation on Rejuvenating Spa Inc. The goal here is to provide an overview of the company itself and to provide a recommendation on certain expansion options that are available to the company going forward. Rejuvenation Spa has recently purchased a high-end lavish spa Inc. Overall, the company looks to focus on quality of service with very highly trained staff. RVI itself focuses on being affordable and providing great quality of service to the customers. Financially, both companies have very good cash flow generation and are highly profitable. However, they do have a relatively high debt load, which could cause some trouble in the future when it comes to financing. The industry overall is very cyclical and it ties very strong with the market forces. Since 2008, the market has slowly been rebounding and been growing. However, it's a very competitive market. So consumers have a very high bargaining power, and consumers can also switch between spas with relative ease, which brings a lot of challenges for RVI as a company. There's also a strong focus on environmental responsibility in the industry as a whole, so RVI needs to focus on that aspect of its business as well. And there's also a strong incentive to diversify its consumer base as they try to capture more male clients.
So the first strategic option we've noticed is the consolidation of RSI and Lavish, and so we've noticed some pros and cons for this option. The first pro is that it's consistent with Sally's mandate, which is to unite the two companies under the same brand identity. Currently, the two companies have different mission and vision statements, but consolidating the two would provide a cohesive strategy across the two of them. There would also be cost savings realized upon consolidation in the accounting and administrative functions, and it would provide for a centralized decision making out of the consolidated company. And the last pro is that it would bolster the financial statements. The consolidated company is required to provide consolidated financial statements for the bank. However, while Sally prefers to have the consolidated company, the Lavish manager currently thinks there isn't ideal to consolidate because the two companies are different, so they have different processes and operations. Further, Lavish currently offers a bonus incentive program to the employees, while RSI does not. So if they were to consolidate, they need to implement a bonus plan across the two companies. Also, the companies currently have inconsistent accounting policies, like their depreciation policy, so those would need to be streamlined across the two. And lastly, there's a different client base, so the Lavish employees may not be used to handling and dealing with the RSI customers and vice versa. So the second strategic option that we've identified is the ability to franchise RSI. So the first pro with this is that it's in line with the board's mandate for growth. On top of this, it's a great opportunity to capture additional market share through starting all these additional franchises. And through these franchises, it'll be an opportunity to build the reputation of the brand. If we can get the franchisees on board with the reputation of RSI, it'll be a good way to build that reputation. And on top of that, all these franchisees that are in the spa business might have knowledge that we're unaware of and can help improve our operations. However, there are some cons. The first one is the capacity of management, and the expansion of this scale would be maybe overwhelming for management of RSI currently. It would also be difficult to secure ideal locations because one of the positives of RSI right now is it gets a lot of foot traffic for customers. And then a risk of expanding this quickly and trying to build the brand reputation is there's always a risk that the franchisees do not agree with the reputation and ideas of RSI, so they could dilute or dilute the brand image of RSI. And lastly, there's going to be a pretty cost-intensive screening process to bring on the new franchisees.
Okay, great, thanks. The next option we looked at was a partnership with Forever Fitness Limited. This is an opportunity to sort of expand and share the risks of expansion with FFL. We will gain access to a relevant customer base of FFL that may be interested in our spas. There's also opportunity for staff development. They can be trained to work in either of the locations, and that also provides some flexibility for staff who may be looking for a different sort of role, whether it's more responsibility or less responsibility, depending on what they want. The final pro that we see is that there's an opportunity to for diversification. So if the spa industry, is lagging, we can benefit from some of the massage centers that are in the FFL locations. Some of the cons is there's not going to be the same kind of brand recognition with the centers. They're not part of our spas. Also, those centers are going to be tied to the success of Forever More Fitness. If they aren't doing as well, there's not going to be as much traffic in for the massage centers. There's also potential costs that'll be associated with partnering, whether we go with an incorporation or whether we just do a basic partnership. And we feel that there's a lot of due diligence that's required to see their structure. Okay. Next up, we had a look at an acquisition of Pure Substance Inc. This is a product that we use in our spas at the moment, and there's an opportunity to purchase the brand going forward. That would lead to possible cost savings through vertical integration if we're providing our own products, and an opportunity to improve our environmental stewardship profile as well, because this is a very sustainable product. There is growth potential through different retail locations, and an opportunity to get more involved in sort of the social and environmental leadership in the industry. Some of the cons is we lack the experience in this industry. We are not in the retail business, we're in the service business for spas. There's also increased foreign competition. There's lots of companies outside of North America that are providing similar styles of product. Looking at their financial statements, they have had rising costs over the years and falling revenues, and so that is a concern for us. There's also potential ethical issues. It would be more cost efficient to move production of the product. However, there are obligations to the staff members to kind of keep them there.
So based on our analysis, we have 4 recommendations. The first recommendation is financial consolidation and partial operational consolidation of RSI and Lavish. This fits with the vision and mission of RSI. It also helps improve brand recognition. However, it does not meet growth targets that RSI has wanted, nor does it meet the constraints and targets, and minimal financing is required. Our second recommendation is to franchise RSI pending the successful launch of MTC. Fits with the vision and mission statement of RSI. It also helps improve brand recognition, helps meet growth targets, meets constraints and targets. However, there may be lack of management resources.
Our recommendation for option number 3 is to pursue the FFL Massage Therapy Partnership. The reason for this is because this partnership fits with the vision and mission of the company. They'll be promoting health and fitness within fitness centers across the country, so that's growth in the industry as well as across Canada. The other category is it does not improve brand recognition. The reason for this is that FFL does not allow RSI to use their logo in promotion, so this will kind of hinder the growth of the company, and so it does meet the growth target geographically, but it does not in terms of brand recognition. The other issue is that the constraints and targets that the company wants to meet for high profitability are quite reasonable, as this will grow exponentially throughout the country, And in doing that, profitability will grow not only immediately, but over the future as well. And finally, there's sufficient financial and management resources. Although there will be resources that are required immediately when entering this option, the majority of the issues won't be covered by RSI individually. It'll be covered by FFL, as they will kind of pioneer the project. So overall, we recommend that this is a good option for the company and that we should implement it. Our recommendation for option number 4 is to forego the Pure Substance Inc. purchase opportunity. The reason for this is because it does not fit with the vision and mission of the company. The reason being is our company would like to provide exceptional client services in the spa industry. However, this is the manufacturing industry, which is slightly different from our vision, and it does not improve brand recognition as a spa. It would if we were to establish a brand name under the company, but however, again, it does not fit within our vision and mission. Also, this meets the growth targets, not necessarily in clientele, but in products. So if we were to establish a brand name and develop products, we would have growth. However, there will be constraints and targets within this. We will have profitability if we are successful in this endeavor. The company does not have very much experience, so the initial resources that are required may be lost in terms of finding ways to work through the lack of experience in the industry. And so overall, there is significant financing that's required and the lack of experience in the industry, which creates a very high risk in this kind of investment. So our recommendation for this option is to forego it completely and not try to pursue the endeavor. Finally, our implementation plan will consist of 3 steps. Our first step is to consolidate RSI with the Lavish immediately. This will be due just from the cost savings that will come from this opportunity. The second option is to delay financing for 1 year. In the first year, we'll delay and experience just marketing costs, which will create a loss. But then in the second year, we'll open 4 franchises, and then within the next year, there will be 8 franchises. This will allow for slow growth, and it'll be easier to manage and handle for the company. Our last step is to agree to partnering with FFL. This option has to be slowly implemented, and it will have initial costs in the first year. However, there are quite large growth opportunities for this, and so in doing this, RSI has to take leadership in representing the company within FFL. They have to make known the direction that the company wants to go in terms of being able to promote their logo and thus increasing the brand recognition for the company. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening.